Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So sorry there hasn't been a video for the last 2 weeks. In this video I'm showing you how I do my skin because it's something that I never actually show you guys in videos, or I show you my eye makeup and things like that. So this is sort of a special occasion skin just because I wanted to show you every single aspect. So I mentioned the bits that I don't do every day, but this is basically my skin prep and my foundation, contour, highlighting, all that jazz, everything, all in one video. So if you'd like to see how I create my skin, then please stay tuned. Right, so the first thing I use is the SMASHBOX Photo Finish Primer Water, which is this just here. So this is sort of similar to Max Fix Plus, and the girls mentioned that it has electrolytes in, which means it keeps your skin absorbing moisture throughout the day. So I just use this and do a quick spritz. And the next thing I use is SMASHBOX again, and this is the Photo Finish Primer Oil, which is this just here. So I've just recently started using this and it is really nice. I use this in the morning when I'm doing my makeup and in the evening as well. So I just do a few drops in my hand. I tend to use more of this at night. I'll put the drops directly onto my skin, but I don't want my skin to be too oily just before putting makeup on, so I use less when doing that. So it smells amazing. It smells like lavender, so it's really nice to use at night because it makes you really nice and sleepy. So this is really good. I've actually got oily skin and this doesn't seem to make me oilier, more oily. And obviously if you've got dry skin, using an oil will be amazing because it's really, really, really full of moisture. So these two steps I do every day. The next step I only tend to do when I'm sort of going out or doing special occasion makeup. So this is using the GLAM GLOW Thirsty Mud Hydrating Treatment. This is just a little mini one from a Christmas set. So I take that and I put that all over my skin. Trying to stay a little bit further away from my eyes because while this is on my skin, I'll go back in, do my brows, my eyes. So this is sort of odd because it's sort of like a face mask, but then you can just sort of massage it into your skin after. So that's why it's actually really nice to use for like a really luxury skin prep. Next I'm going to just take my Dr. Pawpaw Balm and I'm just going to smother my lips in that. So while that's on, I'm just going to go off camera quickly and I'm going to prep my lids with MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre and put on my eyes and my brows, and then I'll be back on camera. Right, so I've just whacked on my brows and done a quick sort of fairly natural eye. So next, where this is still sitting on the skin, I'm just going to, most of it's been absorbed, but just use my hand to sort of massage that in. So next I'm going in with a moisturiser. So this is the BOBBI BROWN Vitamin Enriched Face Base. So this again is part of my everyday routine. So normally I do the spray, the oil, and straight in with this. So this is really nice. It's a moisturiser, but it's sort of made with makeup in mind. So it's not too slippery. It's a nice thick moisturiser and it works really well as a primer as well. Then the primer that I use religiously in the centre of my face is the Benefit Porefessional primer. I think everyone that's into makeup has heard of this. It reduces the appearance of your pores, so it gives a bit more of a flawless look. So just take a little bit of that on my hand and I put some on my chin, on my nose. Use a tiny bit of the product, just coming out from the nose a little bit in the area where your pores tend to be a little bit bigger, and in the centre of my forehead. So now the skin is prepped, this again is a special occasion step. That is using the, I can never say this company's name, it's either NOID or NOID, but this is their photography fluid. I'm just going to take a few drops of that in my hand. Then I tend to rub my hands together and just put that on. So this gives your skin a really glowy look. So this is, I always use this if I'm going to be having my photo taken. When I do my wedding makeup, this will definitely be used. I use it on clients because obviously they're probably going to be in lots of photos where it just really gives you that really almost airbrushed look to your skin. So next, because I am a fan of the super glowy skin, I'm just going to take my Illamasqua Radiance Veil, which comes in these big tubs, and you can sort of see that there. It's just slightly shimmery. So I just use my finger for this, take the product and I pop it everywhere that you would normally want that sort of extra glow, so where the sun would hit on your face. So now I'm on to my actual foundation and everything. So the foundation I use on a day-to-day basis is the Rimmel Wake Me Up foundation. I use this in the shade True Ivory. And for this I use my Zoeva Silk Finish brush. This is a bit misshapen from how I use it. So I just take some of that and I start sort of in the centre of the cheek, because I find when you're doing foundation, that's where you'll most likely want more coverage, and then you sort of lessen it as you draw out. So I start in the centre and I use sort of like stippling motions. So next I go with my concealer, which is the Maybelline Eraser Eye Concealer, and this is in the shade Light. So, Cupid's bow, chin, nose, like a little exclamation mark, under my eyes, and drawing it out a little bit. I tend to bring it right down here for a bit more coverage. And under eye, flick it out a bit. Right down, and middle of my forehead a little bit. Then I also just go under my cheekbones a little bit, just to add a bit more definition. I get quite conscious of my cheeks. I think I've got quite chubby cheeks, so I like to just lighten up that area, so then when I go in with my bronzers and contour and everything, it's just a little bit sharper. That I just go back to my foundation brush again. I don't bother cleaning anything off of it, just how it is, and I just, again, using those stippling type motions, just start blending that in. Next is my powder. So for this I just use the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I think this is in the colour Peach Glow. So I tend to go under my eyes first, do this just because that's an area that normally creases. I'll do some here just because that's where you get smile lines, and also I get lines across my forehead, so I just make sure that is locked in. So for this I just use a Zoeva sort of fairly fluffy but smaller brush. I like to use this and sort of kick up some of the product so you've got some more loose powder, and then I just pat this under my eyes, nice and close, sort of in the areas that would normally crease. And then I just switch to my Zoeva powder brush, big brush, get some product on that, and I just do a quick once over on all the other areas. So I'm going in with the Sleek Solstice palette, which is this one, and I'm just using this shade here, which is the peachy shade. So when I start my highlight, I go in with the Luxe Soft Definer brush by Zoeva. This is sort of a fluffy flat brush, is sort of how I best describe it, and I just use this to really place where I want the product. And then I switched to what once was a fan brush, which after many a wash and a few baby shampoos is just a big fluffy thing. I don't know what brand this is, it's all rubbed off. But I just go in with that product again and I just go over my cheekbones one more time. Then I switch back to my Zoeva crease brush, which is what we used for the powder, and I take my sleek Face Form palette in light, and I just use the contour shade. You can see that this is running out massively, and I just take this brush and some of that, and I just start on a little bit of nose contour. So I just run that down the sides and underneath. This just sort of gives it a little bit of like an upturned illusion. And then using the same brush, I also just dip it into the Cupid's bow. So next for my main bronzer, so to warm up my face, I use the BAREMINERALS BAREPro, and this is actually a powder foundation. I use it in the shade Hazelnut. So this is actually a brand new one, delivered this morning. This is just a bronzy colour. This is sort of more of an orangey bronzer. I quite like that on me, but if you prefer cooler tones, then it might not be the one for you. And for this, I just use, I think it's a Real Techniques blush brush. It's a really manky old brush, but any sort of fluffy brush. I just take the product on there and build that up. So I use circular motions, sort of basing it at the bottom of my cheekbone and pushing that product up onto my cheekbones there. Then I bring that sort of up around the sides of my face, onto my forehead, a little bit under my chin. And I also like to bring a little bit just sort of in this area. This sort of defines this back jaw a little bit more. I like bronzing my forehead because I've got quite a big forehead, so it just sort of helps bring that down a little bit. Once I'm happy with that, I switch to my sleek Face Form palette in medium. So I've actually lost the lid to this, and I just take this colour. So this would be too dark for me to use as a bronzing tone, but I like to focus it just sort of near the back, really in where you would contour, just to add some more depth. Then I switch back to my sleek Face Form palette again, but in the shade Light, and I just pick up a little bit of this blusher, and then I just really lightly, holding my brush right at the bottom, just pat that in. So it really is a nice, subtle blush. Really softly adding that in. Then once you're happy with that, I just take my powder brush, just with any excess product that's on it, and I just do a quick sort of swipe along, just in the centre, just to fix anywhere where you might have brought it down a bit too much. Just strips that back, pat a little bit in my forehead just to pat that back. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up, do all of that stuff. Let me know anything else you want to see. Give me a follow on Instagram, do all of those bits. Okay, so I'll see you all next time.